Let's dive into something we've all felt. You know, that moment when your brain, this incredible supercomputer, just seems to glitch out right when you need it the most? We're going to talk about why that happens.
Right? We've all been there. You're in a huge exam and your mind just goes totally blank. Or maybe you're just overwhelmed and you snap at someone over something tiny. These aren't you failing. Nope. This is a fascinating biological process, and we're going to break it all down. So what is actually going on inside our heads in these moments? Why does our logical, thoughtful brain just decide to peace out? Let's get into it. To really get this, you got to meet the two key players in your brain's operating system. It's kind of like your brain isn't just one thing, but a company with two very different departments. And, they're often fighting for control.
Think of it like this. One part of you is a super careful planner, always weighing the pros and cons. But the other part, it's all instinct, all gut reaction, just ready to go in a split second. Now, when everything's calm, they work together pretty well. But when stress shows up, one of them tends to hijack the whole operation.
And here they are, our two main characters. On the left, you've got the reflective system. This is your brain's CEO, running the show from the prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead. It's slow, it's deliberate, it handles all the heavy lifting, logic, planning, you name it. Then, on the right, you have the reflexive system. This is run by the amygdala, a tiny little thing deep in your brain, and its job? It's the alarm system. It is lightning fast, totally automatic, and only cares about one thing: survival.
Okay, so here's where the drama really starts. Normally, the CEO is in charge, but when that alarm system spots a threat, it doesn't just, send a polite email. No way. It stages a full-on chemical takeover.
And this whole takeover gets kicked off by the fight or flight response. It's this ancient survival program designed to save us from like a tiger jumping out of the bushes. The problem is, our brains can't tell the difference between a tiger and a looming deadline, a tough conversation, or just being stuck in traffic. It triggers the same alarm. This breaks down the hijacking process perfectly. First, the amygdala, our alarm, sees a threat. Step 2, it yanks the alarm cord, setting off that fight or flight response. 3, the brain gets flooded with stress chemicals. And 4, this is the absolute kicker. That chemical flood basically knocks our CEO, the prefrontal cortex, completely offline.
So let's look at this chemical flood. It's a really powerful mix. You've got catecholamines. Think of these as the go-go-go chemicals, like adrenaline. And you've got glucocorticoids, like cortisol, the famous stress hormone. Their only job is to shift all of your body's resources to one thing: immediate survival. They prioritize raw speed and instinct over slow, careful thinking.
Okay, so the CEO has been locked out of the office. What does that actually mean for us? What does it feel like? Well, the consequences are immediate, and they mess with everything from our memory to the choices we make.
This quote from neuroscientist Amy Arnsten just nails it. Stress literally flips a switch in our brain. It weakens our most advanced thinking skills and cranks up our most primitive gut reactions. It's a deliberate biological shift from that reflective state to a reflexive one.
And hey, this isn't just a feeling. It is measurable. Look at this data. In one study, when people were calm, their memory accuracy was around 87%. Pretty good. But after they experienced some acute stress, it dropped to 80%. Now, a 7% drop might not sound like a lot, but when the stakes are high, that's the difference between passing and failing an exam. It's a huge hit to your performance.
So here's the bottom line. When your thinking brain is under siege, your whole cognitive toolkit is just compromised. Your working memory, that ability to hold info in your head, it just tanks. Your decision-making gets all warped, pushing you toward risky moves or just avoiding things altogether. And you lose that ability to be creative and flexible, and instead you just fall back on old basic habits. But here is the good news. This is not a permanent state of emergency. We can actually learn how to calm down that alarm system and consciously invite our brain's CEO back into the boardroom. This right here is a really important mental shift. Look, anxiety is a natural alarm. The goal isn't to shut it off completely. It's to learn how to hear the alarm without letting it trigger a full-scale panic that shuts down headquarters. It's all about how you respond.
So how do we do it? That's the billion-dollar question, right? Well, here are 3 proven strategies. First, mindfulness. It actually strengthens the connections to your prefrontal cortex, giving your CEO more authority. Second, simple stuff, like slow breathing exercises. These directly tell your body's nervous system, hey, the threat is gone, you can calm down. And third, of course, professional support can give you targeted tools for your specific triggers.
You know, just understanding this process is a huge tool in itself. Instead of beating yourself up thinking, oh, why did I do that? You can step back and recognize, oh, okay, my reflexive system took over for a minute. That shift from frustration to understanding, that's the first step to changing the pattern. So, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. Stress doesn't make you dumb. It just temporarily changes the operating system your brain is running on. It prioritizes the fast, reflexive system over the slow, thoughtful one.
At the end of the day, your brain's alarm is just trying to protect you. You're the one who gets to decide if it's a real emergency or just a false alarm. So the real question is, now that you know how this system works, what's your plan for the next time it goes off?